Squiz Kids acknowledges the traditional owners of the lands on which we podcast, the Turrbal and Kombumerri people.
Squiz Kids!
It's your daily news fix. Fun, free, fresh.
Hello and welcome to Squiz Kids Today, your fresh take on what's happening in the world around you. I'm Bryce Corbett. It's Monday, October 13. In Squiz Kids Today, good news for Gaza. Venezuela's Peace Prize winner. Diamonds netball clean sweep, and Tay Tay's record breaks a record. That's what's making news, kids style.
The Lowdown.
And it's a welcome back to term 4 of the Aussie schooling year. Did you have a good break? Yeah, us too. It's fantastic to be back in all of your ears. And we start the new school term with some good news about how, by taking care of the environment, threatened species can be brought back from the brink. This week is Earth Science Week in Australia, and in a place called the United Arab Emirates, loads and loads of conservationists and scientists, whose job it is to look after our planet, are gathering together for a big meeting. They're discussing the state of the world's biodiversity, which is to say, how the many wonderful species of animals and plants on our planet are going. And there's plenty of red flags for plenty of species. But the good news is that populations of the green sea turtle around the world have stabilised after we humans decided some 30 years ago to take extra special care of their ocean habitats and nesting sites in places like Brazil, Mexico and Hawaii. The result? Today, the population of green sea turtles has grown by 28%, meaning that they're no longer on the endangered species list. Proof that when we put our minds to it, anything is possible. Now, you're going to hear a lot today and tomorrow about something called a ceasefire in a place called Gaza. So, what does all of that mean? Hopefully, it means that the 2-year-old fight between the country of Israel and the militant organisation called Hamas has come to an end. You'll remember we've spoken before in the podcast about how these two warring neighbours have been fighting over land in the Middle East, and most specifically a place called the Gaza Strip, home to millions of Palestinian people. All going well, later tonight, our time, a ceasefire will take effect. Prisoners and hostages will be swapped, and both sides of the conflict will hopefully work towards a lasting peace.
Spin the globe.
Each day we give the world globe a spin and find a news story from wherever it stops. And today we've landed in Venezuela, a country that sits at the top of the continent of South America. And the reason we've landed there is because that's the home country of this year's Nobel Peace Prize winner. So, what's the Nobel Peace Prize? It's only one of the most famous, important prizes in the world, awarded to the person who has done the most to try to achieve peace or promote harmony in the world. Someone who, sometimes in the face of great personal danger, has what we call the courage of their convictions, to stand up to critics and opponents and try to make the world a better place. And this year's winner, announced at the weekend, is Maria Corina Machado, the opposition leader of Venezuela, who was last year banned from running in the presidential elections there, despite being massively popular, because the man running the country does not want to give up power. And while that might sound surprising, it happens quite a lot around the world, probably much more than we would like. Which means, when you live in a democracy like ours, where the people's vote is more powerful than any one individual, it's something never to be taken for granted.
Sport time.
It's been 40 years since the Diamonds, Australian women's netball team, lost a game in Adelaide. And yesterday afternoon they kept the record clean, beating South Africa and taking out a clean sweep in the international series. The Aussies hung on to their world champion status, beating the Proteas 65 goals to 42. What a win! Go Diamonds! There was news also from the NRL yesterday, with the name of the Papua New Guinea team being revealed. Now, from 2028, Papua New Guinea will field a team in the NRL competition, and that team, it was announced yesterday, is going to be called the Papua New Guinea Chiefs. The team name Chiefs was announced yesterday by PNG's Prime Minister James Marape, and he said it was a nod to the many tribes that make up the country just to Australia's north. Welcome to the competition, the Chiefs.
Pop Culture Corner.
So, what's been happening in the world of entertainment while you've been on holidays? Oh, not much. Only the biggest album launch of the last 10 years and the arrival on the pop culture radar of Huntr's real-life singers. I'm talking, of course, about Taylor Swift, who you'd had to have been living under a very large rock not to know that she released a new album called Life of a Showgirl. And it's totally taken over TikTok dance trends. I'm practicing Opalite as we speak. And along the way, it's become the biggest album launch since powered balladeer Adele's album 25 was released back in 2015. Woo! Within the first week of it being released, The Life of a Showgirl sold 3.5 million copies, which is just wild. Almost as wild as the reception that K-pop demon hunters real-life pop stars EJ, Rayami and Audrey Nuna are receiving since hitting the promotional trail these past 2 weeks. The South Korean singers are the voices of Huntr, the all-girl group that slay the demons in the Netflix movie that has swept the world. And they've been doing a couple of live performances, notably for US late-night TV shows that have had fans begging them to form their own real-life K-pop group and start touring. That would indeed be golden. Let's kick this school term off with a Squiz Kids Q&A with a difference.
This is question time, not sledge time.
Order.
Sit down. Prime Minister resume his seat. Members will cease interjecting. I'm issuing a general warning. There's no point me repeating myself over and over again.
I have asked for silence. I've asked for silence. It applies to you.
Order.
Our next guest in the Q&A hot seat is a man called Milton Dick. He's what is called the House Speaker in Federal Parliament in Canberra. He's the bloke you see on TV, on the news at night, sitting in the big chair in the middle of all those shouty politicians during question time, doing his best to make sure everyone plays nicely. But here's the thing. He's finding it harder and harder to get our politicians to play by the rules. I mean, he's all for disagreement, but only if it's done in a respectful way. And this is where he needs your help. He's looking for new things to say to our federal politicians to keep them in line, and he reckons there's no one better than Aussie kids to help him out. So, send in your suggestions of what Milton should say to our politicians when things get heated in the House of Reps. He'll choose the best ones and read them out in an upcoming session of federal parliament and read out your name too. It might be something your parents say to stop you fighting with your siblings, or something your teacher says to turn the classroom from chaos to calm. Send your suggestions via email ASAP to squizkids@thesquiz.com.au. They're fun, they're fierce, and they're on a mission. Strap yourselves in, kids, and get ready to meet Planet Warriors, a super-connected bunch of superheroes who will be flying into Squiz Kids' ears starting tomorrow. There's Rocky, the geothermal genius, Blaze, the solar energy supremo, Gust, the wind energy wonder kid, and Flo, the tidal energy titan. Each one is blasting towards an exciting future where all your devices, your homes, your classrooms are powered by renewable energy. Part science and technology podcast series, part rampaging romp into a world of cheeky superheroes, Planet Warriors drops tomorrow and will run for the next 6 weeks on this very podcast channel. And teachers, be sure to check out the Squiz Kids website for curriculum-aligned classroom worksheets tied to each episode. Because we like to give.
Time for the quiz.
This is the part of the podcast where you get to test how well you've been listening. Question number 1. On which continent is the country of Venezuela? If you were listening, you would have heard me say South America. Question number 2. Which singer has Taylor Swift toppled in the charts since selling 3.5 million copies of her new album? Hands up if you said Adele. You would be correct. Question number 3. Which marine animal has seen its population increase in the wild by 28% in the last 30 years? Did you say green sea turtle? You would be correct.
Shout-outs.
It's Monday, October 13. It's the first day back at school for kids in New South Wales, South Australia, Tassie, WA and the NT. Welcome back. And also, welcome back to week 2, kids in Victoria and Queensland. Just think, it won't be long now before it's Christmas. Today is also a special day for these Squiz kids, celebrating a birthday today and tomorrow. Riley from Yass, Mia from Indooroopilly, Ella from Hamilton Hill, Rosie from Belmont, Yan Shin from Canberra, Maddie from Tennyson, Kari from Wavell Heights, Stella from Watson, Jackson from Woodcroft, Isaac from Drummoyne, Zali from Wagga Wagga and Terence from Minto. And because lots of you had birthdays over the school holidays and we don't want anyone to miss out, we'll be catching up on all the belated birthday shout-outs this week. And it's such a long list, I reckon we probably need a little bit of help from the birthday reggae tune. Hit it! Happy belated birthday to Grace from Vermont South, Katie from Springvale, Hayley and Teo from Exeter, Rachel from Lakes Entrance, Bella from Burnett Heads, Rebecca, Trent and Austin from Forest Hills, Sadie from Ogunbul, Indy from West Albury, Francis from Wahroonga, Elijah from Lugano, gosh it's a long list, Oliver and Ruben from Eglinton, Alice from Yass, Harrison from East Linfield, Kate from Peregian Springs, Emmy from the Gold Coast, Charlie from Roseville, Gideon and Paisley from Lake Macquarie, Noah from Adelaide, Victoria from Indooroopilly, definitely running out of breath, Bronson from Windsor, and Ava, who's listening all the way over there in Engelberg in Switzerland, and Muad, who's listening all the way over there in Abuja in Nigeria. Wow! I think you might be our first ever birthday shout-out in Nigeria, Muad. Happy birthday to you. And don't forget, Classroom shout-outs will resume next week. Well, that's all we have time for. Thanks for listening to Squiz Kids today. We'll be back again tomorrow with the first episode of our brand new series, Planet Warriors. In the meantime, get out there and have a most excellent day. Over and out.